officially deep in the semi-conference finals for the NBA playoffs. Obviously, that's where a lot of our talk's going to be. And we're going to kind of recap how we got here on some of the teams talk despair meter, because I feel like there are a few teams that have that a lot higher than others. And honestly, I feel like probably three-ish teams that are eliminated at this point. We're playing with house money and have no concerns for the most part going into the offseason. So we'll talk about that in a little bit too. But first, I would like to point out the draft lottery. The NBA putting the draft lottery on Mother's Day is crazy, because there is a 0% chance I'm going to be able to convince my wife to watch this at 3 p.m. on Mother's Day.
Yeah, 3 p.m. really is right in prime time too. Like I know, I mean, brunch is obviously a huge thing on Mother's Day, so like maybe I guess you're catching the tail end of it, but yeah, can't wait to see. I got to pull up the odds here. I should have good producing by me. I should have had this ahead of time, but
the three that have the highest odds, the 14% odds, are Brooklyn, Indiana, and Washington.
Right.
And I guess there's a way that Indiana's could potentially go to the Clippers. I'd have to look up the connection on that again, but they have an asterisk next to it saying it could be conveyed to the Clippers. So
can't wait for the Warriors or something like that to jump to 1, or OKC. Yeah. OKC, the Clippers pick, if that's going to jump to 1.
Yeah, honestly, like I was looking at this. So obviously, for anybody wondering, in order of odd percentages, you got Washington, Indiana, Brooklyn at 14%, Utah and Sacramento at 11.5, Memphis is next at 9, New Orleans at 6.8, but that will either be Atlanta or Milwaukee's. Then you got Dallas at 6.7, Chicago at 4.5, Milwaukee, which could also be potentially conveyed to Atlanta, at 3%, Golden State, like you were saying, at 2, Clippers, which, God, it could be it's going to go to OKC at 1.5, Miami at 1, and then Charlotte be the last one at 0.5. But like, yeah, I mean, light the world on fire if the Clippers give their pick to OKC and they're within like the top 3 or 4 or even 5. Like, them getting whatever the pick is already is crazy, but yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, OKC getting the 1 pick somehow would be the biggest nightmare for the league of all time. I mean, yeah, again, we'll get into playoffs in a little bit, but like, breaking news, they still look like the best team in the NBA, and they're about to get a lottery pick there in the mix too. So, greatest rebuild of all time. Yeah, I mean, there's a few. I mean, if you look at the top, obviously, I think the discussion too, and people will, put the tinfoil hat about on is like, who tanked ethically to get here and who didn't.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, I mean, probably the most ethical tank at all this is Indy, because just not having Hallie for the entire year, it's like not really like, what are you going to do? But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how this turns out. This is a pretty loaded draft. I mean, again, we have plenty of time to talk prospects and talk drafts, so we're not going to do that now and give you a deep dive. But the consensus around this entire draft is really high. So, I think there's a lot of teams here who, if you're going to get a top 3 pick in a draft, this is definitely the one to go to. We'll see if anybody jumps. Obviously, the last 2, you've had massive jumps from Atlanta, jumping all the way up to get Reece Shea, and then with Dallas, of course, jumping last year to get Coop. You won't put tinfoil hat on. I don't think you need a tinfoil hat for that one, but
I feel like
we'll see what the NBA cooks up this year.
I feel like this year it will be very chalky because the NBA, they need to like undo the suspicion a little bit, if that makes sense. So
what, there is a year off from rigging it?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it'll be like, it'll literally just go like
Washington. The first ethical lottery we've had in ages.
Probably, like, honestly, if you're going to do it, if you're going to rig it to try to actually like help the teams that are bad, you go Washington, probably Brooklyn, Utah, Sacramento, get Indiana a little bit later, since they were like, this year was like a one-off, Memphis. Like, you literally would do it and then push New Orleans back, push Golden State back a little bit, push Clippers back a little bit. I'm interested. Miami would be, if they get a little bit higher, there's going to be a lot of like, because I know there was some talk about Bam, and I actually heard some rumors with Bam and Charlotte potentially, and some talk there. But if you're Miami and you get like a top 4, I don't know. There might be an argument to say, well, keep the core, get this rookie who's probably going to come in and impact right away. Like, I don't know. Miami could look real good right off that, right? Like pretty quickly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100. I mean, low-key, so could Washington, honestly. Like, if
Yeah,
Washington
yeah,
is
yeah,
right there, I mean, you've got Anthony Davis, you've got Trae Young, and then you add a number one pick. Like,
yeah,
that's an intriguing roster with kind of some of the younger guys they've got in place there too already. So,
yeah. No, I
definitely,
agree with you on that. I think out of like the four, was it 4-5 lowest, so anybody that had the 11.5% lottery odds or higher, so Sacramento, Utah, Brooklyn, Indiana, Washington. Indiana is obviously the clear answer to say we'll have the biggest resurgence next year because obviously injuries won't be a factor. Do you think it's Washington that has probably the highest upside based on whatever pick they might get?
I mean, Indy gets Hallie back, has
Right,
still a
right,
Siakam,
right.
like Indy right there too. Immediately, you get a high pick. They're gonna
Hmm.
should in theory jump right back into the mix in the East. Um, yeah, I mean, everybody else is kind of. I think there's a gap there a little bit.
Hmm.
I mean, if Atlanta were to really jump, I think
That would be
Atlanta
crazy.
would be, kind of Atlanta. I mean, Dallas again if they jump, Miami. Milwaukee, of course, would be super interesting with Giannis. The teams that would take a little longer to me, who have, but still have a high chance of this, obviously, are Brooklyn. Like Brooklyn has a
Yeah.
lot of filling out the roster to do. I think Utah still has a lot of filling out the roster to do. Even though maybe maybe I'm underrating Utah a little bit too because you got Jaren Jackson now, and with
Yeah.
him and Laurie in a number one pick, that could be it's in the West, but like that's certainly gets a lot more entertaining. Sacramento, I mean, that would be huge for them as well. With their roster, there's still a lot of turnover there, but at
Hmm.
least then you'd have the foundation of something. Like that roster needs to get turned over anyway. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I wonder, like Utah, Brooklyn, it almost feels like a getting the right fit. But obviously, when you get one of those higher picks, you really are just going for skill base more than anything at that point, like just the highest potential upside, really. Um, so I'd be curious to see what comes through on that one. Yeah.
yeah, no, 100%. But all right, let's get into some playoffs a little bit. We're going to talk about the full second round here in a second. But yeah, we got now that the first round is over, of course, we had a bunch of game sevens left when we recorded last week. On speaking of production of the show, I'm not going to lie, a part of me wishes we did the emergency podcast just so we would have been to get the full euphoria of the Sixers, because now I'm just fully back to like full
It's
nihilism
terrible.
mode at this point. So we'll get into that later, but yeah, I mean, of course, 8 teams have been eliminated at this point in the first round. I mean, you mentioned 3 at the beginning that you feel like are low on the despair meter. I'm just gonna guess them off the rip.
Okay.
Portland, I think low, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not worried. Like, yes, there's things that need to happen with Portland, but like getting in and losing to the Spurs and getting a win against the Spurs, like I feel good about them.
Okay, Toronto.
Toronto, yeah, yeah, especially taking it and literally it was a 1 game toss up. Like
Yeah.
I would be I'd be vibing real good right now if they had beat the Cavs. But obviously on paper and really off name, like the Cavs shouldn't have let that get to 4-3. So there's that. But yeah,
I mean, I guess are you have Phoenix or do you have Atlanta? I feel like I mean,
I
I
have
guess
Atlanta. I have the Hawks. Phoenix is more like I don't know. Like I feel like they're a little bit stuck in that eighth. Like this where they are is where they're stuck at the moment. So I do think there's some things that need to happen. But yeah, I would put the Hawks there because they obviously went through their like you didn't expect to be the 6th seed getting rid of Trae Young, and so the trades that you did for half the season showed this upside of this team. And then you pushed the Knicks. You got 2 wins against the Knicks, who, I mean, up against the Sixers look like juggernauts right now. Um, so yeah, I think if you're the Hawks, you feel pretty good about it. Whereas like Celtics, Magic, Rockets, Nuggets, it is the kind of complete opposite.
Yeah, well, so the Magic, I mean, we might as well start there because they, of course, are the biggest change already with the announcement that Jamahl Mosley was getting fired. Not a huge surprise, I think, after blowing the 3-1 lead. I mean, I think there were a lot of Magic fans who felt like Mose was coaching for his job anyway. If they get in the second round, I think it becomes a little more like, okay, we'll see how this goes. But, given how it ended in that series, yeah, I think there was no doubt about it. Something had to change. I think Paulo's comments after the season too sealed his fate, where it's like, hey, we've been doing this now for a few years. We haven't really gotten past the next round. I kind of calling out the roster there a little bit, it felt like, in management. So, it definitely felt like a shakeup was due there. I agree they're high on the despair meter given how it happened. I think the only thing you hang your hat on for the Magic is that, hey, we didn't have Franz Wagner. Like, that does really matter. And I think Paulo in Game 7, probably the only Magic player that played well. So I think, yeah, you feel better about like him being a franchise cornerstone there. It does feel like he had moments where he rose in the playoffs. I still think there was a concern, but I'm certainly at the end of that series, I didn't go, man, Paulo Banchero is the reason they lost that series. Like, it was definitely the offense in general was a mess.
You got to go back to the. You got to go back to. Was it game? No, the Orlando Magic lost it, so I'm guessing it might have been game 5, where Cade and Paulo dropped 40+ point games. Yeah, it was game 5 where Orlando lost 109 to 116. Cade dropped 45 points, and Paulo also dropped 45 points. So, at that point, you're like, man, come on. I mean, Desmond Bane had 18, Anthony Black had 19, Jalen Suggs had, 18 as well. But, you go over to the Pistons and you got another guy like Tobias, which I know is always a sore spot for us. But Tobias in that game dropped 23, So.
Oh, dude, I don't even want to talk. Tobias has been insane this playoff run. That Game 7 performance, I was like, what, are you kidding me? Like, where has this been for 5 years?
And I saw someone post when the Orlando Magic had, what was it? I think they won the second game and the third game. So Pistons were down 1-2, and someone posted like, how are the number 1 seed losing to an 8 seed? And it's like, just showed a picture of Tobias. And it's like, this is why. I was like, don't give him fuel, man. Like, it's just going to get him going.
The Magic lost it in Game 6. Like, that series broke in Game 6. I mean, they had a 22-point lead, and like, listen, losing Game 5 is a little frustrating, but I think you lose by I think they lost by 6 or 7 that game, and it was on the road. Like, you're not really too worried about that. God damn it, I almost did it too. As soon as I said it, I was like, that's 2 in 1 episode already,
dude. Okay, we're over our quota, dude. That's so bad.
But no, I think they lost it there. Like, that was such a just all-time second half collapse in that Game 6 to have that 22-point lead and then only eke out 19 points the rest of the game. Like, that's a because Detroit didn't even play super well that game. Like, Detroit in Game 7 played well.
You didn't break 80 points in Game 6. Like, come on. That's so bad. And just, I mean, you go look at the series averages, it was still a relatively close series, but that game just, and we said it in the last episode, that game really sealed the deal. And I just didn't think you had a way to come back from that when you dropped so little points.
Yeah, it was right. That was a haymaker. It was really tough. And I mean, credit to Detroit. Again, we'll get into that a little bit. They've been turning it on since. Word to this now 2-0 lead over, the Cleveland now. Yeah, I mean, the Magic certainly above the Hawks, certainly above the Blazers, certainly above the Suns.
Yeah.
I mean, the other teams, right, like the Celtics definitely are in the despair bucket. The Nuggets are in the despair bucket to me, and the Rockets are certainly in the despair bucket. I'm going to put the Rockets above the Celtics and the Nuggets only because the Celtics and Nuggets have both won titles recently, and they've won titles with this iteration of their group. So I think that will give you a little less leeway than Houston does. Like, Houston, this is a disaster, but I think it goes back to, I mean, it's Fred VanVleet. Like, and that's something I think we extensively talked about at the beginning of the season, is that losing Fred VanVleet and them not having that true point guard, like, that was a bigger impact than people expected. I think a lot of behind the scenes has come out too, that like Fred was the leader of that locker room. Like, he was the guy.
Which brings up again another conversation about Kevin Durant, and can he actually lead a team? Which we could always have in the offseason, because it's like we might not, depending on what happens with Kevin Durant now, like, we'll see. But like, if he's gone, this Rockets with Fred, like, is a very, like, what if, like, what if he's healthy? What if Kevin Durant's there and doesn't have to be the leader? Fred's the leader. And like, what would that look like?
Yeah, I mean it is such it's dance we've done with Kevin Durant in these last few spots. Like,
Yep.
the injury risk is always there. He didn't play a bunch in the playoffs, and I think that's something if you're Houston will look at. I
Yeah.
also think you go, hey, Burnergate 2.0 happened. I know Kevin Durant says he didn't have anything to do with it, but like, look, the reality is I definitely think that had a major impact on the locker room.
Sure.
I think the young guys maybe didn't get to the level that we expected them to so far between Jabari Smith, between Reed Shepard, between Şengün. Like, there are potentially questions about a lot of these guys moving forward. And so you do have this weird balance now of like, do you want to push in more with KD, get another proven guy, and try to take that to the next level, or do you move from KD entirely at this point, recoup the value while you can, continue to
Yeah.
build at the younger pace around this core? So I think there's certainly a lot of questions there about that. Like, they have more intrigue than a lot of these teams do in the offseason. But yeah, I mean, I think given the way you lose that series to the Lakers too, like, this Lakers team is not even 100% without playing Luka Doncic. They missed Austin Reeves for part of the series. Like, you just have 41-year-old LeBron out here, cooking your team up that you thought was, frankly, it's a title contender at the beginning of the season. Like, they were
Yeah.
supposed to be in the mix, getting to conference finals and really competing for this. Instead, you have a pretty thorough first round exit to the Lakers, again, without one of their best players. So, yeah, I think. I don't know. They might be number one, honestly. Like, when I really look at this across the
The
board,
Rockets.
yeah, I think the Rockets are there, and I think the Magic are maybe like two in terms of just the pain of it all, and maybe the questions
Sure.
you have about that core a little bit now, because you're certainly committed to all these guys. And
Sure.
the Celtics and Nuggets are right there as well. I'm gonna go Nuggets slightly over the Celtics, and maybe a surprising opinion. Um, but because again they win a title, I'm going to give them a little bit more bail than I will with the other teams recently. Denver is tough though, man. I mean, Denver losing to Minnesota in that game 6 as thoroughly as they did, especially given Minnesota's injuries, with Ant not playing, with DiVincenzo now out for the rest of the playoffs. Like, you retooled this roster big time when you moved on from Michael Porter, reset this around Jokic, and instead this team pretty much underachieved. Like, same deal. They were getting ready to, try to make another run at the title.
Mm-hmm.
You fired Mike Malone last year. So, like, certainly been a lot of changes since that title's been won. Jokic's prime, as brilliant as he is and continues to be, he dealt with injuries for the first time this year. He is getting into his 30s now. Like, you're
And
only going to have so many cracks at this. So you want to make sure you're there. And I think them losing the first round is a, kind of a warning sign for the first time.
Yeah, and I think Jokic more than any of the other NBA players, the worry of when he actually does start to not enjoy it, like he will probably just go. You know what I mean? Like, he'll Ben Simmons this thing and just be gone. And when you may not get like a slow decline of him throughout the year until he's gone. Because he more than anybody, at least from a media narrative, like, there's times where you can tell he doesn't want to do it. Like, even after like bigger wins, you see him wanting to go, do stuff with his horses and all that stuff. So, like, I don't know, maybe I'm reading between the lines there, but it does feel like if anybody's gonna like be like, you know what, I'm good, like, it would be him. Before we got too far away from it, though, I did want to bring up Jabari Smith, because when I was watching that series, I was like, I forgot he was there. And you go back to that draft, you got Paolo, you got Chet, you got Keegan Murray, all drafted before then after him. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just because of all the trades, and then obviously the Thunder and the Magic, Paulo being the number one guy in the Magic. Like, I feel like we've talked about those three significantly more than we've talked about Jabari Smith.
Way more. And I
Yeah.
think, given the fact that, too, I think
Jalen Williams, too, I
the
should say. Sorry.
the perception is way better around some of the Houston guys on this roster. Like, I think people are pretty universal that, like, Amen Thompson is the best one of them so
He
far.
was good. He was looking good. Yeah. In the playoffs, too, he was looking good.
But yeah, I mean, Jabari just hasn't really broke out. Like, he got the minutes this year, and he's not bad.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, but like, again, you were like, Paolo and Chet were drafted above you. Keegan was right behind you. And then you got Jalen Williams at 12 with the Thunder. I know that's a whole nother conversation, but like,
yeah,
Jaden Ivey, you know, like, I don't know. I just feel like I've heard a lot of these names more than I've heard about Jabari Smith over the last, what is it, 4 years now.
You know, he's 4 years in now. And I mean, look, he's still very young. He's 22 years old. But yeah, I mean, some of the numbers too, when you look at him behind, you know, you peel back a little bit, like both his offensive and defensive box plus minus are both negative. You know, he's not taking the shots a game you would like necessarily. You know, the true shooting percentage is fine. It's just, he's just very fine so far.
Right.
Which is not what you want out of your 3 pick. And I mean, that's kind of the same thing too. Like, you know, with Reed Shepherd, like you don't want to bail on him just quite yet. You know, these guys take a little bit to develop, but I think for both of those guys, there probably was a little more hope that they would be further along at this point.
And at least for like to be positive about it, I mean, he in 77 games this year had higher than career averages in points, in field goal percentage, in 3-point percentage, in effective field goal percentage, and PER was up. So like we're seeing the development, but because maybe it's at like an average growth rate compared to what we're seeing with like Apollo, maybe that's why it feels weird. I mean, every year he's gone up for the most part in points per game and all that. And like you were saying, he's seeing more minutes. So I don't know. It's just there's some weird vibes. Obviously, last year, only 57 games. So, you know, it's good to see a bounce back year and get 77 under his belt again. So I'm just curious to see what, like, is next year the one where it's like, all right, we kind of need to make a decision here, like from a Rockets standpoint, like, yeah.
I mean, the pressure is going to be there, and that's where they said they have different ways they can go. I don't think it has to be, but I think if they're going to double down on KD and, you know, potentially try to bring another guy in, like he's going to be one of the guys that's on the table. So yeah, I think that's important. That's worth keeping an eye on for sure. Like I said, the intrigue around Houston is very high. Yeah. Maybe around Denver, it is a little bit as well. Boston just, you know, it was a weird season for them now in hindsight, with trying to get Tatum back, not having Tatum in that game 7.
On paper, them being out in the first round is alarming. But then when you take into account the entire season, like you were saying, like Tatum coming in very late in the game, like, yeah, it does. I don't know. I'm not worried about them. Like, they're going to be right back in it next year, probably the number 1, number 2 seed again. Like,
I mean, they also were a 2 seed, to be fair, that blew a 3-1 lead. Like, let's not get away from that either. And I know that series changed rapidly when Joel Embiid came back, but like, look, I think there were a lot of people, including us, who were like, "Hey, Tatum is back. Like, there's going to be an adjustment period here," and there was. Like, Tatum was coming back not just from an Achilles injury, but from like an Achilles injury in the shortest time in NBA history, basically. So I think a lot of people undersold the adjustment. But like, look, he looked brilliant at times. Again, they had a massive lead in that series. They had a 3-1 lead. Like, it just felt like, you know, the expectations changed. Had Tatum not been playing, I think they would have been playing with house money, and you're way less down about it now. I think Boston, though, thought they had a real good shot to win the Eastern Conference, and that, you know, they had a chance to make another finals run. And with this core, you know, it's you want to be in the mix there every time, and I think they'll reset, and I think they'll be fine. I think Jaylen Brown's comments, I'm going to raise my eyebrows a little bit when he's post-stream being like, "Hey, you know, not just crying about the calls, but also being like, this was the most fun season I've ever had." And it's like, oh, you as the number 1 option, this is suddenly like, brother, you won the NBA Finals and were the Finals MVP. This is the most fun you've ever had when you just took the first round exit and blew a 3-1 lead, and that's what you're saying immediately after you lose Game 7. Like,
you
that raised some eyebrows.
Hardware in other seasons, and that's not the fun one. I would also, by the way, and I know this kind of maybe will transition us into talking about the games that are happening right now. If you have a second, whenever you look at it, go look at the series averages for Celtics 76ers. You know, Tatum was leading Boston. Tyrese Maxey was leading the 76ers, and Maxey was at 26.9 points per game, 4.9 rebounds per game, and 6.6 assists a game. Bro, I know we're only 3 games in, but go look at the series averages for Knicks 76ers and cut all the numbers I just said for Maxey in pretty much half. Like, whoa. Yeah, it's not great. So the positive vibes I know we kind of had talking about what it would feel like if we got this the Celtics out of there are definitely gone. And yeah, it's probably going to be a sweep here. So
Yeah, no, I wish we.
and
Yeah,
on Mother's Day,
I selfishly
we're gonna
wish
have
we
to
recorded
watch
because
the
like
lottery and get swept on Mother's Day.
no, I mean it's such a bummer because like right, like you would have got euphoria. I mean, them beating the Celtics, it probably is the coolest thing that this franchise has done the way they did it since 2001. Like the first time the Sixers have beat the Celtics in a playoff series since 1982. Joel Embiid was brilliant. Tyrese Maxey closed the game. Like that was such a euphoric day. And right, like it's already gone because you're immensely frustrated. We'll get into it in a little bit, but it's like the Sixers lost this series to the Knicks at the trade deadline. And that's where it got lost. It got lost when management decided they were more interested about the tax and not going all in on this team. And they decided not to double down, and they're now going to get humiliated by the Knicks, where there's a zillion of their fans in our arena because Sixers fans are traumatized from the last 10 years and know that as soon as there's any playoff adversity, that this is going to end as miserably as possible. Like it all just starts, and it all just starts at the top. It all starts at the top with Josh Harris. Josh Harris stinks. He's a horrible owner. He is morally bankrupt. Like I don't have any good things to say about this guy. He's continued to not want to contend, but duck the tax. Like he's a cheap billionaire. If he had any decency, he would sell the team, but he doesn't have any decency. So we're just stuck being, in perpetual purgatory.
And not only that, I mean, just go look at what Jared's doing over at OKC.
Yeah, which was insanely right. Like, definitely couldn't have used him at all. Like, right. Glad we sold high. Like, he just. But again, Josh Harris enables these frauds like Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey's been overrated for ages, and we haven't gotten him out of here. Like, I'm glad he's getting exposed at least a little bit because he shouldn't have a job next year. Nick Nurse also shouldn't have a job next year because he couldn't find minutes for McCain. Like, this was such a predictable failure. But that's also the difference, Justin. Oklahoma City's a good, well-run organization. The Sixers aren't. Like, they're just not. They haven't made a conference final since 2001. We need to stop pretending that this is a well-run organization. They have failed at so many turns, and it all starts at the top. It starts with the ownership. The best team in Philadelphia is the Eagles. Why are the Eagles good? Because Jeffrey Lurie's a brilliant owner. He hires good people. He puts them in positions to win. He invests in talent, and then guess what? The team is super profitable. Josh Harris doesn't care because he makes money on this. That's all he's in it for. He's not in this to win anything. He's with money. Because look at the two other teams that he owns, the Commanders and the Devils. You know what they have in common? They're losers.
Just to kind of rub salt in the wound, I found this stat. Jared McCain the other day had 18 points in 16 minutes off the bench with 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0 steals, 0 blocks, just straight buckets. To add to that, Jared McCain has 8 3-pointers made in the semi-conference finals. VJ and Maxey combined have 6 right now. So I mean, it's funny because like we joked about it on the podcast, but it was blatantly obvious on all of social media that the Sixers got fleeced by letting him go. And it's just been a running thing ever since. And yeah, I mean, it from the fan base thing, it was like, if you wanted any buy-in from the fan base, that game 1 against the Knicks, like had to be closer. You can't. I don't even lose think 98 to 137. Like that's just going to tell me all I need to know.
See, I disagree with that because they had just played Game 7 and the league made them then go play on Monday. So you know what? I will give them a little bit of benefit in the doubt for that Game 1. I was truly not alarmed after Game 1.
From a casual fan, you see that number, you're like, yeah, I'm not going to a game. I'm not watching them lose by 30.
Well, and there's the Knicks taking over the Sixers arena is twofold. It's that number one, the incomes in New York City are higher. So it is for a lot of Knicks fans, it's cheaper to go watch the game in Philadelphia than it is in Madison Square Garden. Like breaking news, Knicks regular tickets are expensive. You don't think Knicks playoff tickets are expensive? Especially when we talk about that's the one team New York City rallies around more than anybody. So I understand that, but it is unfortunately like a lot of people do sell their tickets because you're just like, why do you believe them? Why do you believe this is going to be different?
Let me put this out there. Okay. And again, I to your point of it being more expensive in New York, take a guess at, this is StubHub, So I just literally Googled the game or put the game up on StubHub. Tomorrow's Game 4 at home for Philly, May 10th at 3:30 p.m. What do you think the ticket price is?
Oh, you probably could get in for what, like $60 now?
Well, honestly, the median, which is what I'm assuming this is showing me, is 143.
Right,
So
which is
yeah,
super low, which is like down at least $150 from what it was before game
game
3.
game 5 in quotes, if necessary. There's only 200 some tickets left, apparently. How much do you think that one is? Which is in Madison Square Garden?
Oh, I mean, hundreds. Like to get in the door, 500-600.
480 is the median. Yeah. So like that's significant jump in price. Now I get, the like, oh, we could see him close it out, and that might drive up the price a little bit. But yeah, man, I mean, game 6, which would be back in Philly, ticket prices are at 240 right now. And game 7, if it won't get there, but game 7's already at 699, almost $700 if you're going to go to it. So like, yeah, you're right. New York tickets to go see him at the Garden is significantly more expensive than in Philly. But I'm also like, look, you the players are getting upset with us. You haven't shown us something that's worth trying to go see. I'm just going to watch you lose. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and I mean, look, that's just like you're never going to get by. I mean, it's peak Sixers to have pulled off one of the coolest things ever, and then just get absolutely chumped in the second round. Like it's so incredible how in 7 days they basically just torched any ounce of goodwill they had already. Like there's just none. This fan base is never going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and like why should we? Why should we give them any benefit of the doubt?
In points, rebounds, and assists for series averages, the Knicks have almost 10 more than the Sixers in all of those categories. So
yeah, the effort's pathetic. The depth isn't there. Like the big story for me in game 4 was bench depth. Like the Knicks had at halftime, it was 16-0. Like they were torching them. Like there's no way around it. No one else could step up. Quentin Grimes wanted $30 million a year. Great. He's out here giving us nothing. But that we had no use for Jared McCain though. Like they're pathetic. And I continue to I'm mad at myself for getting frustrated about this. And when all season long I've been telling you and will continue to tell you just how pathetic this franchise is. They're pathetic losers. Until they prove otherwise, they are going to be losers. They have not won a title since 1983. You don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. Like this isn't a new young core.
Yeah,
the Sixers, like, truly, watching the Sixers playoffs in the past 10 years, like, it has to be the second circle of hell to me. Like, that would be my consistent thing. And there's no joy. Like, yeah, why would you want to go pay to risk and enjoy that game? I'm not going to enjoy it, most likely. There's been like 4 playoff Sixers games I've ever enjoyed in my life, and most of them came when I was in 4th grade.
Yeah, way back in the day.
Who deserves some hate though? M. Night Shyamalan, I got beef. You giving your tickets away to get Timothy Chalamet, you should be banned for a year for that. That is garbage. I don't care if that's your boy. M. Night Shyamalan, Allen Iverson was courtside at the game. If you're Mr. Philly guy, you got to be courtside at the game
you gotta
too.
Be
that's
there,
disgraceful. Disgraceful performance. After Embiid said don't do that, you give it away. Like, come on, Emma. Somebody said that's the most disgusting twist he's pulled off of all yet. That's crazy.
You're not wrong, dude. Like seriously, that's that's funny. I like that.
Should we give Knicks analysis now? We're so deep in the series and we haven't done the intro yet that I feel like we should just close this out. Like, because like, look, the Knicks look like a wagon right now. I'm not gonna lie. Like going around Towns has been like that, and that to me is the difference right now. Because even doing that without OG, and OG's health matters long term. Like he needs to be healthy if they're going to have any chance of winning the title. But Towns is changing the narrative big time. Like that to me is the surprise. He just is like playing the way he's supposed to. He's getting down in the post. He's aggressive. He's still knocking down the 3 ball, but like he's not taking stupid fouls. I don't. That's the big turn here. It's like ever since that game 3 in Atlanta, like they went to him in game 4, and it's just completely changed the entire gravity of this team. You can't. I don't think you can really undersell that at this point.
No, they feel like like the vibes were kind of down in the first round, but I feel like they've put all of that away. If that,
they were down the entire second half of the season post All-Star break. Like that's why it's crazy. It was like they were so thoroughly getting beat by Atlanta. It felt like that. Right. Like I just didn't think they had this gear shift in them, frankly. Like they had moments of it, but like, I mean, Detroit shifted the gears a little bit too, and we'll talk about that after we intro. But I don't know, man. Like the Knicks look like I always said I felt like whoever won this series was coming out. Knicks have just not even been close to losing in these past few games, and so it's hard for me to go around and go, hey, it's going to be anybody. They're gonna. I think they're going to win the East. Are they going to beat OKC? I don't know about that yet. That's a bigger ask, and we'll see. A big assumption on both those teams as well, but. Because Detroit is going to have home court, and that matters. But I don't know. Like Detroit trouncing Cleveland would be impressive, but we know how I feel about Cleveland. But I also will at some point I got to stop giving Orlando credit too for having them on the ropes. It's like, yeah, Orlando had the ropes, and then Detroit punched their way off it and won 3 straight games. Like that does matter too. So
I also I also. And I kind of brought this up to you off mic, is I feel like the past few years, and again, I'm generalizing, so I haven't gone back to actually confirm it, and maybe you'll tell me I'm crazy, but I feel like we always get a crazy first round, and then the conference finals are weirdly chalky, and it's a quick and maybe not even chalky, but it always feels like it's it's almost a sweep or a 5-1, and then we're on to the conference finals. It never feels like the conference semifinals are as I guess good, if that makes sense.
I got to look at it honestly.
Yeah.
I can't even tell you off the vibes. If I've noticed a difference, I do think the first round. I mean, especially this year, I thought the first round was pretty entertaining across the board. I mean, obviously 3 game 7s, but a bunch of other competitive series as well. Second round been kind of chalky so far. But my thing with the second round this year is we kind of knew that. I think the only bummer for the league's sake is that, I mean, if Detroit Cleveland goes 3-0, I thought that was going to be a little more I had thought that was going to be more of a 6 game, potentially 7 game series.
Yeah.
I did. I thought Sixers Knicks was not going to be 3-0 either. I mean, that's a nightmare scenario. The West is predictable. I mean, we'll talk about the West in a little bit, of course, but I mean, the West kind of. I mean, if anything, Minnesota winning that first game was super impressive. That was a surprise there, but those series are kind of playing out the way we expected.
And that's what I mean.
Which is chalky, but it is what it is. I don't know.
No, I agree. I don't know. For whatever reason, I always feel like conference semifinals feel a little meh. Yeah. And then the conference finals kick off, and it's at that point, in this case, it'll probably be Thunder, Spurs, Pistons, Knicks. Let's go. This is going to be fun. That'll take probably 7 games if I had to guess, but
I hope. I mean, they both, definitely plenty of juice in both those series. But we'll slow the roll a little bit here. We will attempt to slow it down, at least here on the Drive and Dish NBA podcast. Welcome everybody. My name is Kevin Rafuse. Joining me as always, my co-host Justin Cousart.
I had this crazy stat, but I accidentally X'd out of it. It was about Wilt Chamberlain apparently playing 48.56 minutes average in the playoffs one year. And it's how's that even possible? That's more minutes than the game half the time. So it's pretty cool stuff. But yeah, we're enjoying the playoffs here, and obviously excited to be talking about it.
Yeah, Wilt's stats are always a ride. They really are. They really are video game numbers in a lot of these scenarios. Just truly one of the most dominant forces the league ever seen. I mean, and that's why it's hard. We're not going to do an NBA ranking right now, but it's hard for me to always place him and Bill Russell, because they're just they were just so dominant in their era, and frankly were so much better than everyone else. A much more watered down era, but given that they were so dominant, it's hard for me to always just completely take them out of the conversation.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I agree.
Leave us a review on iTunes, good or bad. I'll read them on the podcast. If you're not an Apple user, Google Play Store, Spreaker, Spotify, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Player FM, anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find us.
And we are on YouTube. You can find us, same thing, Drive and Dish NBA podcast on YouTube. Just give us a search and we should pop up. You can subscribe right there as well, and you'll get notifications when new episodes are coming out. And obviously comment on those episodes if you would like, and we will do our best to answer them.
Now, a word from our sponsors.
So let's get into it. Do you just want to start? What did we do last year? Did we do West last year or last episode? And then
I think
East?
I think we did West. Let's just do East because we already kind of did Sixers and Knicks, so we might as well just finish this off and jump into Detroit, Cleveland a little bit. Detroit, of course, is up 2-0 in this series. Game 3 is today as of recording this. Going back to Cleveland, obviously must win there. 110, 101 win for the Pistons in game 1, 107 and 97 in game 2. Cade has been steady the whole time, 25 and 10, real good in game 2 as well. Cavs story of game 2. I mean, they had a brilliant one from Donovan Mitchell. Jared Allen was great too, 22 points. But, look, not a lot from Harden, only 10 points from Harden, only 9 points from Evan Mobley. It's just not going to cut it. Like, those guys have to be better. And I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Harden in the past. Like, I feel like there's been points where he's been passive in this series. I don't know. It just feels like much the same for Cleveland here.
I mean, yeah, when you look at that from the Pistons side of things, when you look at Cleveland side of things, it is like Harden can't be doing that. Like, you need some answers from Harden, right? He needs a bounce back, and he needs a bounce back quick, especially when you have Tobias Harris playing the way he's playing on top of Cade the way Cade's playing. So, but I mean, it kind of goes back to what we saw with the Cavs in the last series with the Raptors. Is like everything I saw from that made me feel like the Pistons are going to be able to get out of this easy. Like the Cavs on paper had a significantly better roster than the Raptors, and they went to 7 games. So I have zero faith in the Cavs between that and what they did last year in the playoffs. Like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, the Cavs shot really bad. Like, that was, 7 of 32 from beyond the arc. Like, that was their game 2 story.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see if they come out. I think they maybe sneak one here. I think I can see them winning like by 6, 7. Oh, God, I wasn't on purpose. Jesus.
I was gonna do it, but I didn't do it. I stopped myself because we were at 2 already.
I think they sneak a close one. But I don't know. Yeah, I still feel good about the Pistons in this series for sure.
Yeah, no, I kind of really feel good about the Pistons in this series. Like, I think maybe Cavs will get a game, bounce back game from Harden, and that'll get them a win. But I feel like the Pistons are going to get out of this pretty
and
quick.
It's in Cleveland. It's not like they've rolled over. Like, they've been down and they fought back in both of these games so far. But Detroit's just closing better. I mean, and yeah, give Durant a lot of credit too. I think he's done a good job defensively in this series. But yeah, I feel good about, Detroit's just getting consistency too out of their top guys. Like, Tobias really has been a viable second option these playoffs. Like you said, you're getting what you need out of Durant right now. It feels like somebody's stepping up off the bench. It was Jenkins in game 2. We'll see what they got.
Well, and you just mentioned game 2, and it kind of just stuck out to me. Evan Mobley having 1 rebound in 36 minutes in game 2 is like, whoa, what are you doing there? Hold up, like, you got to get the boards, man. And at least from a series averages standpoint, like, the Pistons and Cavs look pretty close with rebounds, but like, that's just telling me maybe some of these important rebounds, or like from a Evan Mobley standpoint, like, you got to be down there getting the boards a little bit more. So that's something to maybe keep an eye on.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that, listen, we'll talk this parameter, but like, we've had this discussion with Cleveland, and it's only going to get louder, especially if it happens again because this season they did shake it up. They made some differences this year, and it's like, hey, you're going to have questions here.
And I know it sounds like a broken record, but at this point, like, playoff Harden is here we are again, like, it's just, he's not showing up when it matters for a lot of seasons in a row now. So, that's another conversation we can have.
Yeah. But all right, let's go out west. We'll go to OKC and the Lakers first. OKC up 2-0 on the Lakers. Not really much of a surprise there. Yeah. The end of game ref huddle is unbelievable with the Lakers surrounding the refs. Like, that's just so funny to me. Austin Reeves brilliant in game 2. LeBron is LeBron, but it's just predictable. Like, I don't know what we want to say otherwise. Like, this is just a predictable outcome.
Yeah. OKC is outscoring LA 38-17 in second chance points. Like, that right off the rip is something to watch. 46-32 in points off turnovers too. So it's really like a basics thing. Like, just lock that up, and it's going to keep things a lot closer. But that's what we expect from the Thunder, right? They're number 2 in turnovers per game, number 1 in points off turnovers. So that's kind of OKC's thing. So, if you're the Lakers and you can shore up the ball security. You can get the second chance points down. Like, you're going to be right back in it. So, that would be interesting to see.
Yeah.
I just think that's the Thunder's game. So
Lakers definitely got to stop turning the ball over. I mean,
Mhm.
21 points leads to 26 points for the Thunder. That's going to be a problem. I mean, look, the other reality too is it's just, again, it's depth. It's the depth of
Wow.
OKC. Like, you look at what Mitchell's able to do in place of Jalen Williams, 20.6 assists. We talked about Jared McCain. We're not going to do that again, but obviously brilliant for them off the bench. Like, they just have continued to throw different looks
Yep.
at you. Like, and of
Yeah.
course, that's not even including all the defensive guys on their roster, between Caruso,
I
between Dort, between Hartenstein. Like,
yeah.
they're just, SGA's efficient every single night. Like,
I
San
just
Antonio is going to be the test given the matchup, difficulties that they've had
yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
But this is the best team in basketball.
I just found a stat. It's only 33 minutes, so small sample size, that SGA has been on the bench this series against the Lakers. The Thunder have outscored them 87-65. Like, you gotta win the minutes when SGA is not playing, because
Yeah.
that's giving him rest. Like, if you force him back out, that's less rest. So, but the Thunder have outscored them 133.8 points per 100 possessions with SGA off the court. And that's a wild stat to say.
Yeah, that is actually a wild stat. And again, just like depth, man. Depth
Yeah.
wins titles. There's no
Mhm.
way around it. That's the theme in the league right now.
Mhm.
But yeah, going to Minnesota and going to San Antonio now. Of course, Minnesota, a shocking, huge win in game one. Wemby held to just 11 points. A little surprising there, but give San Antonio credit, a dominant game two win and a pretty thorough tape to tape win here last night. They're up 2-1 in the series. Again, Minnesota, the fact that Ant's even been in contention is remarkable itself. Just again, given the magnitude of his injury
Mhm.
there, but this is always going to be a tough ask because they're dealing with injuries right now. I don't know. They don't have as much firepower as San Antonio does. Like, I thought Gobert has done, okay the first two games, but obviously Wemby an explosion in game three. They got 39 points out of him.
Yeah.
He was getting to the
He's
line
cooking.
at will. Yeah, again, just like, and San Antonio's depth on display too here a little bit. Like, you got Keldon Johnson giving you 11 off the bench. Like, you've even got like Carter Bryant chipping in
I
8
was just
minutes.
about to bring that up. The assists, it's pretty lopsided on the Spurs side of things. So the ball movement, the getting other guys involved is leading to the point differential that we're seeing in some of these games. And yeah, it seems like the Timberwolves are a little stuck with with what they got, and how do you get the other guys involved, or what you're gonna do? It just might be, it might just be what you got to deal with. That's
Yeah,
just how you're built right now.
they just, especially in game three, were all pretty inefficient too.
Yeah.
Like, Randall was 3 of 12, Jada McDaniels disaster, 5 of 22. Don't ask me what Rudy Gobert shot from the field. Anthony Edwards was 12 of 26. Some knew only was 4 of 12 off the bench. Like, just kind of a rough game for them.
Mhm.
We'll see if they bounce. I mean, again, a competitive game. I feel like there are signs, what you can take away, some positives from Minnesota, but they need to win game four. I mean, you win game four, you can at least make this a series. Like, that's the thing. You already did what you needed to do in San Antonio. Tie this thing up, and then see what we can do. See if you can shock the world.
Well, it's interesting too, because like if you look at the shooting charts, like San Antonio is not shooting like you know above league average for the most part at any part of the court. So like I guess you could take that as a win if you're the Timberwolves, but like yeah, you just gotta. I just think it's a bummer, but I think San Antonio is going to run away with this one, and I think we're going to get the matchup we've all been wanting, which is OKC and the Spurs. We want SGA versus Wemby. We want the two bigger upcoming teams, essentially, that we're probably going to see in the conference finals for a while. Like, this will be one, like, I would be interested to see, like, come talk to us 6 years down the line from now. Are we annoyed with this matchup? Like, is it just what we're getting? But for now, let's see it. Let's get it. Let's get these two juggernauts, the 1 and the 2 seed, to go at it.
Yeah, it certainly could be. Wemby, by the way, 39 and 15, 5 blocks. The only other players who had that in a postseason game are Hakeem Olajuwon, Shaq, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And
Dude.
Wemby got his at the youngest. So, Yeah, not too shabby. Olajuwon in 86 is the next kind of closest. He did that in his 9th playoff game. Wemby did it in his 7th. So,
yeah, that's impressive. Very
yeah.
much so. Do you want to make predictions out of the 4? Who's going to conference finals? What is our finals going to look like?
Oh, the finals is going to be OKC New York, I think. I'd love to see Detroit upset from a hating perspective. But no, I think the Knicks are, especially if OG's healthy, I think are going to beat Detroit. I just trust their guys a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, and then if I'm going the rest of the way, I've got OKC and probably 6 over the Knicks.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Yeah.
There's just so much depth. Like there's just so much depth. With OKC.
I would love some chaos and have the Spurs upset the Thunder and then go win it all, but I think it's still OKC's year.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, if you want the Knicks, the low key, it might be the Knicks year if San Antonio upsets. Like that'd be the thing. It's like
you think?
I will also say if Wemby wins this year, Jesus, like we're on alert for a long time.
Yeah, we're gonna be going through it if Wemby wins this year. Yeah,
like it might be the first time. We might be doing this like 8 times in the next 10.
You're not wrong. Yeah, so
crazy. But all right, shall we? So we switch gears here, get into this Immaculate Grid.
Let's do it. I'll share my screen. There you go.
All right, for the podcast listeners, of course, you always can watch Immaculate Grid on YouTube. Just search Driving Dish NBA Podcast. But if you're not watching the stream, our rows this week from top to bottom. Wow, I'm going to do rows for the columns. How about that? We'll do row Dallas, first row, top row. Chicago Bulls are the middle row. Born outside the U.S. 50 states, and D.C. is the bottom row. Our columns from left to right are the Knicks, the Grizzlies, and 10,000 career rebounds. So, Justin, I'll start with you. Any box that sticks out in particular?
I was thinking Derrick Rose. But he never ended up with Knicks.
Derrick Rose definitely ended up with the Knicks.
Did he?
Yeah, 100%.
Why did I think he didn't? I mean, obviously.
No, Derrick Rose is definitely on the Knicks. Derrick Rose works for, he works for all of the, well, not all of them. He's worked for the Dallas ones. But yeah, he for sure works for Knicks Bulls and Grizz Bulls.
I bet Grizz Bulls is lower than Knicks Bulls.
I agree with that. I still think it's going to be high.
You do?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
It's Derrick Rose, dude. Derrick Rose is always going to rate high on any Chicago list. Loki, his running mate, works for Joakim Noah, works for Bulls and Grizz as well.
Didn't Noah end up on the Knicks?
He did. Yeah, he did, actually. Yeah, he does work there.
I was like, wait, he was there too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Joakim Noah, wasn't he also born outside of the States?
I want to say he was. Yeah,
that could be another sneaky move too. That could be interesting. All right. What else do we got here? Jeez, these are some tougher connections. Teams I haven't had to think about in a minute in terms of Immaculate Grid.
I mean, the obvious answers, or at least more obvious answers for me. I mean, the Knicks and Mavs player that comes right to mind is Tyson Chandler. Tyson Chandler went right from Dallas to New York. Dallas and the group.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
You said Dallas. I thought you said Bulls to New York, and I was like, wait, didn't he play on Dallas? And so yeah, we're good.
No, Bulls in New York. Bulls in New York. There's a couple that work. I mean, Jamal Crawford works there. You mentioned Derrick Rose works there, of course. Taj Gibson works there. You had another Derrick Rose running mate.
Yeah.
There's definitely way more. I mean, Tyson Chandler works for Bulls and Knicks too, actually.
I was thinking the same thing. I
feel like there's more recent guys. I'm like, all those guys are like in the kind of like the early 2010s. I feel like there's.
I feel like we tried this before. Jeremy Lin. He was born in the States, though, right?
I think Jeremy Lin was born in the States.
I think he was too, and I think I've tried that before with Knicks born outside. I don't think he was born outside of the States.
I mean, if we want to stick with the early like 2010s theme, the Nick that works for born outside the States. How about Pablo Prigioni?
Oh gosh, you want to do that? Because I would.
Yeah, sure. Shout out to Italy.
How does he spell that? P-A-B-L-O. No, I was talking about last name.
Oh, Prig.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
there you
right
go.
there.
That's all we needed. It got us there.
Nice.
6% is kind
Wow.
of wild. That is actually.
It's a very Italian
Uh,
name. Like I kind of get that sticking
yeah.
out here a little bit,
Oh,
but
Porzingis ended up on the Mavs, didn't he?
Porzingis did end up on the Mavs. Yep,
Yeah,
he definitely
yeah,
works
yeah.
there.
Porzingis works for, but I bet that's kind of high, honestly. Who played with who played with Melo on the Knicks?
J.R. Tyson.
Oh, JR, wow.
Shout out to JR. JR just graduated college. I don't know if we saw
Good for
that. He
him.
went back and finished his degree.
Wasn't he playing golf too? Wasn't
Yeah,
he
I
doing
mean, I'm
golf?
sure he's
Yeah.
still playing golf. Yeah.
No, but like, was he playing for the college team?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was playing for the college team.
Yeah,
Yep.
I thought he was.
Forgot about that.
Man, might just have to go chalky. Um,
I'm trying to think of like all the guys who were in the Carmelo trade. So like Wilson Chandler, for example, like Gallinari.
Gallinari, like
Amari Stoudemire didn't play there.
Jimmer Fredette or
wait, how did Jimmer get in there? What?
Wasn't Jimmer on the Knicks at one point?
I mean, maybe, but like, why is that the guy you're thinking of?
Because I think of Jimmer and Fredette almost daily, weirdly enough. Not JJ Barea, but didn't Raymond Felton play for Mavs and Knicks?
He might have played for Dallas. I actually think he did, and I know he played for the Knicks. So I would be down to do Raymond Felton there. That's the least chalky answer so far for sure.
Yeah, I'm almost positive. 1%'s
nice.
crazy.
All right.
Raymond Felton. Okay, hold on. Kirk Heinrich for the Bulls. Mm-hmm. Did he end up with Memphis or the Knicks? He didn't end up on the Knicks. I don't know if he went anywhere else after.
I don't think he did either. I don't really know who he played with, honestly, besides Chicago.
I remember he got insane. He got fouled so hard in a playoff game. Like he got absolutely destroyed. I couldn't even tell you the playoff game. I just remember he got like absolutely waxed. Outside of the U.S., well, I mean, Memphis, we've got a few options there, even just from the big three, the grit and grind guys, right? Wasn't well, we got Mark, and then wasn't what's his name also born outside of the States? Zach Randolph. Was Randolph outside of the States?
I don't think so.
Who else played? I thought he did. Who else was on that team?
I mean, Conley wasn't for sure.
Conley wasn't. Gasol. Gasol was.
Tony Allen wasn't.
Tony Allen. Tony Roten. Does Tony Roten work in any of these?
I feel like he was for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like he was on Memphis at one point.
No, I don't think he. I think he only played for the Grizz and the Sixers. I genuinely don't think he played anywhere else.
What about oh shoot, he's a 3-point shooter. Yeah, he's on Memphis now. I think. Can't remember his name. This is the worst part about it, about not being able to use Google, is like I kind of have an idea of who I'm trying to say, but I can't get the name to get to my head. Like I can picture them, but I can't think of their names. So annoying.
Oh, in the Jimmer vein, I think Dougie McBuckets works for.
That's who I was thinking of, Doug McDermott.
Oh yeah, he works for Knicks and Bulls, confirmed. I don't remember if he played for Memphis, but I know he played for the Knicks.
Let's do Knicks Bulls then, because I sort of feel like he played for Memphis. I feel like for some reason I feel like he's there now, but
is he in the league now?
I thought he was. Let's just do Doug at Knicks Bulls.
Okay.
.2. Wow, that's crazy.
.2. Wow. Yeah, he's on Sacramento right now, apparently.
Oh, okay. Did he play for Memphis then?
No, actually he didn't.
I could have sworn he was on there.
Chicago, OKC, Knicks, Dallas, Pacers, Spurs, Kings.
Everyone else but that.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. All right. So, okay. We pretty much need all Grizz and all 10,000 rebounds. I mean, Dennis Rodman would work for rebounds.
Yeah,
for
Dennis
Bulls.
Rodman works for rebounds. I mean, so does Tyson, I think. Tyson Chandler in 10,000 career.
Tyson. Do you think Noah had it?
Oh man, I don't think so. I think he got hurt too much.
Yeah.
That's my worry there.
Should we do Noah, Bulls, and Grizz?
That's fine. We can do that.
Noah, Joakim? 8%.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's so popular in Chicago, like being on those teams.
Oh yeah. All right.
Born outside the U.S., Grizz. I mean, yeah, you mentioned Gasol. I mean, Valanciunas recently.
Oh, Valanciunas. Yeah, good call. I forgot about him.
Steven Adams too.
Oh, yeah, Steven Adams. I was about to say Steven Adams for sure works. Who else was there more recently after the grit and grind guys? Like who was playing with any of the guys that were playing with no, not Bane. Oh man. You might have to go a little chalky with Valanciunas or something. I'm sure there's a blatantly obvious one we're missing.
I'm trying to think recently.
And Mavs Grizz is kind of. Man, we're stumped. I mean, should we just go Valanciunas then for Grizz born outside states? It'll at least be lower than Gasol.
Yeah, it'll be lower than Gasol. I really was trying to think of somebody like not as chalky, but yeah.
Let's just do it. 6% is fine. I can work with that. All right. So then Mavs Grizz is our last team connect, and then 10,000 rebounds for everybody else. Man, Mavs Grizz.
Did Chandler Parsons end up on the Grizz?
Oh wow! Actually, I know he did.
Yeah. If he ended up on the Grizz, he definitely works there. I
forgot about Chandler Parsons. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely works. 22. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Moly. It was kind of recent.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, 10K career rebounds. So like Tyson Chandler works for both of these.
Yeah.
Dallas. I feel like we've done this before, but like Dirk has 10K. I'm pretty certain.
Yeah. I bet Dirk would be low because people don't think about him in rebounds.
Yeah, you're right. My counter to that is that he's the most famous Mav ever by far.
Yeah, that's fair.
No,
you think Cooper Flag has it yet? No.
Dirk 10K rebounds and born outside the US 50 states would be super low too, I feel like.
Ooh, that would be a good one to do. I'm down to do that.
I'm trying to think if there's anybody other than Rodman on the Bulls who had 10K. Like, I don't think, like, Horace Grant didn't. I don't think Vooch has 10K.
Dikembe was never on the Bulls, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think he was on either. Dikembe would have been great, though. That would have been a good pull.
We could do him outside the states 10,000, right?
Yeah, but I think that's gonna be high.
You think so? Okay. Well, honestly, yeah. If we can go Dirk there, like that would be low for sure.
I mean, outside the states, there's a couple.
Tim
Duncan works low key outside the states.
Do you think Anthony Davis has 10?
Oh man.
I don't.
He's close.
I feel like we would have heard it if he did. I feel like there would have been news about it.
Yeah.
I don't think he did. DeAndre Jordan ended up on the Mavs.
Man, that's a sneaky good one. Because does he have 10K?
I don't know if he has it. Because I don't know. Him and
His
Blake
prime was so high, and he was grabbing double digits in his prime for sure.
Yeah.
It's just was the prime high enough to get 10K? He played so long too.
Do you want to take a risk and go for it?
I kind of do, because Dirk would be money in the bank then.
Yeah. Jordan. Well,
he was well over double-digit rebounds a game for many, many years.
He did.
Yes, all right. Hell
12%'s kind of crazy too. That's kind of high. All
right.
right.
There's many that did it. Like I feel like genuinely, there's only probably like 3 or 4 options there.
Should we go Dirk outside?
Yeah,
stays in 10.
100%. I think he's gonna be super low there.
Oh, for sure. 6%. That's actually higher than I thought it would be, but yes.
Maybe the Dallas had everybody the same thought we did, is that use him there if you're not going to use him on Dallas.
So then Rodman
or Tyson Chandler.
Or Tyson Chandler. Who do you want to roll with?
Oh, Chandler. Chandler would be way lower. Yeah. Dennis Rodman might be the greatest rebounder in NBA history.
Yeah. Let's see. What was his percentage? 3% for Chandler.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
I did not expect that. All right, here we go. Back in Immaculate.
How many options? 32 options for Grizz.
Grizz and Bulls
Vince
are real
Carter. We didn't even.
Yeah.
Courtney Lee too.
Yeah, Vince is definitely the most egregious there. Yeah, that's right.
Seth, we should have known. Oh wait, he did one game. Never mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say Seth. I genuinely remember Seth in Dallas. I don't remember him at all in the Grizzlies.
Oh my gosh, we got it.
Okay. Oh, OJ Mayo.
Yeah, OJ's a good one.
DeLon Wright's a darling as well, low key for Immaculate Grid.
Yeah. It's really not a lot though. I mean, but Vince is egregious. We should have had that.
Yeah, Vince is definitely the most egregious there. All right, let's scroll down. Let's see the most popular answers.
Only 8 10K rebounds outside the U.S., which is kind of surprising.
Dirk is one.
Hakeem, Duncan, Dikembe. Yeah, it's really not many. Paul Gasol, though, that's worth noting.
Wow, yeah, Paul would have definitely been one. Vooch does have 10K. All right, man. Okay, so I debated that. I didn't know if he'd be a 10K or not.
Yeah, Vooch does have it. And then Rudy Gobert's good to know that he's already there, too.
Yeah, okay. Wow, yeah, Gobert, I feel like that went under the radar too, for sure. Yeah, him 10K. But all right, let's scroll down here. So most popular answers, Knicks and Dallas, Jalen Brunson, right? Like that would, yeah, that's right. That did happen.
That's also egregious on our part.
All right, so top answer for Knicks and Mavs is Jalen Brunson. Top answer for Mavs and Grizz is Vince Carter. Dallas, 10,000 career rebounds, Dirk Nowitzki. Charles Oakley, the most popular answer. Wow, taking the 90s bag for the Knicks and the Bulls. Derrick Rose for Bulls and Grizz. Dennis Rodman for Bulls, 10,000 career rebounds. Kristaps Porzingis for Knicks born outside the U.S. Marcus Saul for Grizzlies born outside the U.S. And Hakeem Olajuwon for 10,000 career rebounds and born outside the U.S. Our grid, if we want to look at it one last time, we got Raymond Felton for Knicks and Mavericks, Chandler Parsons for Mavericks and Grizzlies, DeAndre Jordan for Mavs, 10,000 career rebounds, Doug McDermott for Bulls Knicks, Joakim Noah for Bulls Grizzlies, Tyson Chandler for Bulls, 10,000 career rebounds, Pablo Prigioni for Knicks born outside the U.S., Jonas Valanciunas for Grizzlies born outside the U.S., and Dirk Nowitzki for 10,000 career rebounds and born outside the U.S., 50 states in D.C. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of the Drive and Dish NBA podcast. Appreciate you guys as always. Leave us a review on iTunes. We'll read them on the show. Anywhere you can find a podcast, you can find us.
And we are on YouTube. Drive and Dish NBA on YouTube. You can find us there. Subscribe. You'll get notifications just like the podcast when new episodes are coming out.